Hello everyone. Today we shall look into few functions where we can learn about dealing with first and last rows. I have this table. Okay, I have ID number 100121020. Suppose that I want to fetch first row. I would add a new step. I'll type table dot first, open the parenthesis, give the table name. This is my previous step, which is the table name. I'll put hash. I'll select the changer type. Okay, as soon as I click here, you could see that my first record, my first row is shown in a record format. Okay, instead of like record, suppose that we have an empty table. Okay, I have created an empty table by choosing this enter data, and I have created a table, empty table, where there are no values and no columns. This table dot first function helps us to identify whether the table really, it is empty or not. Okay, if it is empty, suppose that we want to give some default values. What I could do is I'll click over here. I'll add a new step. Table dot first. I'll open the parenthesis. I'll give the table name. Okay, I'll put a comma. If it is not present, okay, the default value which we want we can provide in the second parameter. I'll provide a record. I'll type a equal to 0 comma b equal to 0, some random record which I have typed within square brackets. I'll click over here. We could see that if our table doesn't have any rows, okay, we can provide even the like default records which we want. This is how table dot first is helpful to find out the first record. Suppose that we want to find first 5 rows. I'll this is our table. I'll add a step. Okay, I'll type table dot first n and open the parenthesis. I'll provide the table name. I'll type hash. I'll select the changer type because it is my previous step. I'll put a comma. Here, suppose that I want 5 rows. I'll type 5 and click enter. Here you could see that I have got my 5 rows. The reason why the error was encountered because I have entered without typing this 5 without providing the second parameter. So whatever the number of rows we want in the first rows, suppose I could even fetch 10 rows. Okay, we could get first 10 rows. If we don't type the required number of parameters which are mandatory, then it would throw us an error. Let us move on to the other function where we could fetch the first value of a table. Suppose that this ID, first ID is 1001. Suppose that we want the first value of the table. I'll click over here. Okay, and I'll type table dot first value. I'll open the parenthesis and I'll type table name, which is my changer type, which is the previous step, applied steps you could see, and I'll close the parenthesis and click here. You could see that my first value is 1001. Here, even if you type comma, you could provide default value if there are any empty like table or empty values. Okay, this is how it is useful. Otherwise, if it doesn't have any rows, it would throw null instead of an error. Okay, let us move on to the other functions where we could remove few rows. I'll add a step. Suppose that I want to remove first few rows. I'll type table dot remove n. I'll remove first n. I'll open the parenthesis and I'll provide the table name, change the type, comma. I want to remove suppose first 7 rows. I'll click over here. You could see that first 7 rows are deleted and it is providing us the row from 8th to 20th. So this is how table dot remove first n function helps us to remove the first few rows. Let us quickly move on to the other functions where we want the last records or last rows. I'll add a new step. I'll type table dot last. I'll open the parenthesis. I'll provide the table name, which is changer type, which is my previous step. I'll put a comma. If I want to give the default values, you could use the default values. Otherwise, I could just give the table name and click over here. The last row is 1020 as we know that, and the details about it. Suppose that I want last 5 rows. I could add a new step. I'll type table dot last n function, open the parenthesis, provide the table name which is my changer type. I'll put a comma. In the second parameter I have to give condition or count. In the condition I'll provide last 5 rows. I want last 5 rows. I'll click over here. You could see that last 5 rows has been provided from 1016 to 1020. And let us move on to the last function, which is remove last 10. Okay, suppose that we want to remove last 10. Table dot remove last n. I'll open the parenthesis. We need to provide table. Okay, I'll provide the table by providing hash. I'll put a comma. Suppose that I want to remove last 5 rows. I'll click over here. You could see that my last 5 rows from 1016 to 1020 has been removed, and it is giving us the first 15 rows. Okay, these are few functions which help us to deal with first and last values. This is all for now. Thank you for watching, and we shall meet in the next video.